I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this that I just wanted to show you exactly what the new Flight Attendant Career Connection Interview Workbook Bundle includes and what it looks like, how to access it. I have been working for the last couple months on updating the workbook so that it is fresh, new, accurate, recent, up to date, all the adjectives that you want to use for so the workbook first, can't remember, I think it might have been 2014 might have been the very first version of the interview workbook bundle. It was one of the first resources offered by Flight Attendant Career Connection, and it was it over the years it hasn't changed a ton. It's been updated a couple times. Every year it's gotten new questions. So the last couple years what I've done is created a supplement. So I've updated the workbook with the new questions and then also created a supplement that included just the new questions, because once you purchase the workbook bundle, you get access to all the updates for forever, or forever, as long as forever is, right? As far as the workbook goes. So you get updates, you get access to the updates. So if you've already purchased the workbook, then you can go ahead and log in right now and you'll have access to the brand new 2024 version already in there, already in your library. But in the past, what I've done is created like a supplement. So people who have been working on the workbook, they could get the supplement instead of having to download and print the whole thing, the whole workbook that was similar in a lot of ways. But this year, there's no supplement because it's been completely rewritten, reworked. I touched and edited every page. I took out questions that weren't relevant anymore. Hello, questions about masks on the airplane, right? So those kinds of questions needed to be removed because they're not relevant anymore. We're not being asked those questions anymore in interviews. So those questions have been taken out and new questions have been added. Also, I updated the instructions that and the mini well, the instructions and the training that's in each section within the workbook for clarity, for based on my increased knowledge and exposure over working with flight attendants every year for the last over almost 11 years now. So it's been updated, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. It's still in the same format that it has been in before, because I still think that dividing, so the format, what does the format look like? It's divided into 4 sections, and each section represents a different type of interview question that you will encounter in your flight attendant interviewing career. And so it's still divided into those 4 types. We've got star format, yay. We've got personality questions, tell me what you think questions, and then onboard situational questions. And then there's also a section about announcements, and that's completely different than it's been. We've always had an announcement practice section, but the way that announcements are being used in interviews is completely different than it was when the workbook first came out and for several years after that. So it's completely different too. So I want to show you here. Let's see if we can share the screen. All right. So wait, there's me too. Okay, so now we're sharing the screen. So once you purchase the workbook and it's time for you to log in, when you purchase the workbook, you will, in the little place where you type in your name and your credit card, there's also a place for you to create your password. So you'll create your password as well right then, and then you'll get an email that has that information that gives you login instructions, a welcome email from me, things like that. But when you're ready to go ahead and go into your library and access it, you will go to abbeyunger.org/login, and you will see a page that looks like this. Okay, so you will type in your information, your email, and your password, and then you'll click sign in. Okay, fingers crossed. There we go. All right, so why is it looking like this? This is not what it will look like. Okay, so if you end up with something that looks like this, so at the top it says you've already purchased it. So take me there. So you may see that page. If you see that page, that's where you click, take me there. Otherwise, you may just get this library. Okay, so this is what I was thinking that you would be getting. You would go straight to the library, but I'm glad it kind of took us to that other place too that I wasn't expecting, because if it took me there, then it might take you there too. So now we know. But once you get to the library, you'll scroll down. Now I have lots of products in my library. Makes sense, right? But where I want to go is I want to scroll down to interview workbook and training. You may only have the interview workbook and training. So there you go. If that's all you have, then that'll be easy to find. If it's not the first one, though, scroll down a little bit. And then we're going to click on view product. All right. FACC interview workbook and training. So I'm going to scroll down. Here is a how to navigate your new interview resource. This is a video. You can click here and watch it. It will give you some of the same information I'm giving you now, but also some more in-depth information. And then here is where we see FACC interview workbook 2024 edition. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for, baby. So we're going to click on it. Here we go. Here's the module. The instructions say, click on the link to the right or to download the newly updated version of the workbook. Once you've downloaded, you can print the workbook at home or send it to the office store to print it for you. You could also just use it electronically. So if you don't want to print it, you don't have to print it. You can just use it on your iPad, your tablet, or your computer as a PDF as well. So over here where it says downloads, over here on the right, we've got download. So I would click on this and it will download it for me. All right. So there's my downloads. Click on it. Let's see if we're still looking at. Okay. So now I'm going to stop sharing and let me see if I can share my screen for my download. All right. Because let's see. I don't know if it's going to let me do it. Oh, there it is. I found it. All right. So there we go. So now this is what the PDF will look like once you've downloaded it from your library and now it's on your computer, it's on your phone or your tablet or wherever. So again, you could either print it. We've got the little printer icon here, or we could send it to the printer. So when I say that, I mean like Office Max, Office Depot, Staples, FedEx, however, are like my UPS store here. I could email them a document and they would print it for me, and then I would go pick it up and pay for it. So that's a couple options, but this is what it looks like. So I'm going to scroll down. I want to show you what it looks like on the inside too. So a little welcome message about this workbook. It's divided, well, I told you earlier, 4 sections. I guess technically it is 5 if you're counting the announcements. 4 types of interview questions, but 5 sections in the workbook. So, technically the workbook's right. I mean, yeah. So even though I said 4, but So a little bit of information about that. How to use this workbook. So there's 2 different ways for you to kind of practice your interview questions. There's some information on that, how to decide which way is best for you. And then section 1, we just dive right in with our star format questions. There is some instruction specifically on the star format method. What is the star format method? Situation, task, action, result. And then it's your turn. So in the workbook, there's questions, interview questions, and then there's room for you to write your answer. See? Tell me about a time you received great customer service. Then when you scroll down or when you flip the page, tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult situation. Tell me about a time you gave great customer service. Now, there's no answers in this workbook. There is instruction to help you know what you're doing when you're coming up with your answers. But what good would it do if I were to tell you about a time I received great customer service here? Like, it's not like you could use that answer, right? Because my life and your life is different lives. We haven't experienced the same thing. Now, that being said, there is a 4-part video training that goes with this, with the workbook. that's also, it just comes with it. It goes with it. It comes with it too. It's included. It's not an extra add-on. And in that class, as I'm teaching, I do give examples either from my life experience or from clients that I have done coaching with over the last 11 years. So there are some example answers in those trainings where I'm giving you an example of here's one way someone did it that I felt like was successful. But in the workbook, there's no answers because I want to give you room to write your answers down. We don't need a workbook full of my, my difficult situations that I've dealt with, correct? Okay, I hope that makes sense. So as you scroll down, you see all these questions. Questions. Whew, let's get to part 2. Maybe I should be using my page down button. So maybe that would make you sick. Okay, hopefully you don't get seasick over it. Section 2, onboard situational questions. Again, instruction and questions. There's also a video that goes with it. Then when we get down here, I want to show you the announcement part too. Okay, hopefully this doesn't make everyone seasick. Here we go. Section 4, and we're almost at section 5. Announcements. Some advice for the announcement part of the interview. If they're having you read it aloud, or if you're having to speak in front of a group, there's some advice about how to read aloud. And then there is a couple of announcements that I have made up and for you to read and practice reading aloud. And then here's a little exercise to come up with your own announcement. Then we have a page for notes, and that is the workbook. So we skipped through a ton of it, but that gives you a little bit of an overview about what is in the workbook. I'm going to stop sharing that again because I do want to go back to sharing. I want to show you a little bit more about what's in the bundle. So I showed you exactly how to get to the workbook and then how to, download it. But like I was saying, it also comes with videos. So let me make sure this is what I want to look at. Yes. So what are the bonuses, or what are the other resources? So the reason that it's a workbook bundle is because you get the workbook, but you also get a bundle of other resources bundled together. What is that? Who is that does all the bundling? One of the insurance people. So it's a bundle, Okay, so you get my book, Turn Your Flight Attendant, Looking Skyward, Turn Your Flight Attendant Dreams into Reality. That's an ebook. A list of airport codes. So there's over 100 airport codes here in this list. It's a PDF that you can download just to start familiarizing yourself. There is some video interview tips here. It's a kind of an essay that gives you some instructions about video interviews. And then there's also a checklist for you to look at before you do a video interview, just so that every time you can remember, the lighting and to close your tabs and make sure your computer doesn't need to be restarted, like all those kinds of things. So you can do that every time. And then down here, when you scroll down, you got to scroll a bit. Here's the 4-part interview skills training. There's a class on STAR format, a class on onboard situational, tell me what you think, and personality questions. These were filmed live a few years ago. They were filmed live, which means the cool part about them being filmed live is there's a Q&A section at the bottom, at the end of each video. So at the end of each video, there was a lot of people that were on watching live, and they had the opportunity to ask questions. And so because they had the opportunity to ask questions, I feel like it does make it a lot more valuable for you, because even though you're not there live now, someone maybe has a question that you had, or even a question that you didn't think to ask, or I didn't think to address either. And so it makes it really a little bit even more valuable. So they were recorded live a couple years ago, and there's over 5 hours of training that goes with the workbook. So I really think that if you can do the videos, I know it's 5 hours, so it's kind of a chunk of time. You don't have to do them all together, obviously, and you can start with the one that you think is like the trickiest. So if why do you want to be a flight attendant is the trickiest question for you, then go to the video that tells you how to answer the tell me what you think questions. Or If you're struggling with star format, or struggle isn't even the right word because you have no idea what that is, then go to the star format training and you can start there. But I was just so excited. I wanted to share about the new workbook, how it's been completely retouched, and I've just updated every page. And I'm really excited about it. It's been helping aspiring flight attendants for almost a decade now, and which is pretty cool. And now this is the brand new version. So again, if you've purchased it again since 2021, if you've purchased it, it's already in your library. And if not, pick it up today. Links down below. Otherwise, I hope that you find everything that you need, and I can't wait to see where your wings take you.